prioritize Sejuani, the hard engage, versus a good reset, knowing that they were going to take Varus and Ezreal.
And that was after TBQ had hovered the Lee Sin, but we're now in pick and ban for game number 2 between Xiaogu and LGD. Thresh being stricken away from PYL once again, and interestingly enough, Annie taken away from TCT. Apparently, they gave that a lot of credit.
That was beautiful. Some of the sneaky plays that he did, hiding in that red buff and then flashing over the wall. He locked up multiple members of PYL, Imp, and Godv with his tippers, so I like the respect.
Oh, there's the Kalista ban for TNT. All they have to do now is take away that Sivir as well. As Xiaogu debating that last ban right now.
It's a little bit scary to do so just because TNT had a fantastic performance on his Corki last game. Of course, Doinby got the MVP, but I feel like multiple members across Xiaogu were deserving of that title last set.
They really played so very strong. Echo is the last ban taken away from LGD on that side of the map, and Victor taken away from Doinby. So, bit of an interesting twist this time around with Kalista off the board. That leaves Alistar still open for Xiaogu. We could see that priority pick out of TCT, or they could let that go over and try to focus on the the Sivir instead. Instead, they're looking at Hecarim right now.
I feel like Sivir means more for them as a team. That said, Hecarim is a big power pick. And again, the thing about LG, not that Flame can't play Hecarim, just that Acorn's gotten his hands on it more. That said, LG, I think they have to take Sivir second rotation because you can't give Sivir Hecarim to the same team. So this pretty much forces LG to pick up the Sivir by picking up the Hecarim, and then Xiaogu can mind game them. Okay, we know that they're going to play Sivir, so what do you want to play into that?
Just like that, Imp locks in Sivir. TBQ looking at Alistar for PYL. That leaves Nautilus wide open for TCT with Annie off of the map and Thresh taken as well. Looking at Zed right now. I don't think that's actually going to be true.
Yeah, they have to take Alistar. I'm curious if they'll actually pick up a Varus as an AD carry and try to deny that double deny from Godv. That side with the flash of Zed, he could be wanting to go a different direction.
Yeah.
But not surprising here. Again, second rotation typically from Xiaogu after a priority pick. They prioritize their bot lane very highly on blue side.
Exactly what it is as TCT hovering over that Janna right now. We'll see if they do end up getting another pick for TNT. There are a lot of AD carries still open. He already knows what that duo is going to be. Looking at Lucian right now to go against the Sivir Alistar of Imp and PYL. Possibly could be a lane swap to try shutting down Flame, but it's locked in. That's Lucian, and there's Janna.
That's a direct response to the Alistar Sivir, so it tells me that Xiaogu are looking for that 2v2. Now, the reason why Lucian does really well into Sivir, because you think Lucian's a caster. What do you mean? Sivir has a spell shield. She should be able to absorb a lot of his damage. How his spells and how his rotation work on her spell shield is very different than how Corki's going to work. Obviously, Corki's going to drop his Phosphorus Bomb. Sivir can eat that. She can eat the Graves Buckshot, and then she can attempt to look for an out trade on the Boomerang. Whereas Lucian, he's going to quickly go through all sets of his abilities, not just to get the bonus flat damage on his, piercing light hitting you, but the double tap more importantly. Likewise, how his Gatling gun, the culling, the first proc only ticks off the spell shield, and then Sivir has to eat the rest of it. So he's often regarded as a soft counter.
Interesting to see that picked up, and that will be a soft counter to that bottom lane. LGD decide to respond by sending Flame in the top on Rumble, and TBQ, he hovered it last game, but he decides to lock it in this time around. He's going to go on to the more comfortable Lee Sin.
He is having quite a champion pool issue now. Lee Sin is his signature champion. That said, does offer a bit of a reset, but they're looking for all hard engage, so this would have been the perfect comp for the Sejuani, especially as Flame is also taking that Rumble for some long-range hard engage.
Yeah, certainly is, and Xiaogu decide to respond by putting Doinby on Lulu to follow Swift around as he decides to go for Gragas. And Godv locks in the Ahri.
So, speaking of signature picks, now Godv's #1 play champion is always going to be his Orianna, but very close to #2. He worked this in his rookie year. His Ahri is incredible. So, everyone's going back to their comforts. They want to win this game. They know that they have an uphill battle against that Xiaogu blue side.
Yeah, we'll see if they're going to be able to take this 100% win rate from Xiaogu and turn it into a 95% win rate. Or probably closer to about 90 or so. But
Look at
still,
that.
it's exciting.
That SKT-esque composition from Xiaogu. I mean, it's very much what SKT run when Bang is on Lucian, having double shield, Faker on Lulu in the mid lane. This time around, it's Doinby, obviously.
Yeah.
As well as Lulu, Janna. So really empowering their AD carry. And again, this is kind of, if you're looking for a trend, why do Xiaogu have such a higher win rate on blue side than they do on purple side? It's because they prioritize their bot lane picks higher up. They have a tendency to priority pick that Sivir and Kalista. This time around, it's the Lulu, but you look at, again, star-studded roster, people will point at Swift. He's a fantastic jungler. He's the carry of Xiaogu. TNT is an incredible AD carry, and he can put this team on his back.
He has been playing out of his mind in the past few days, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do it in this one as we're getting into game number 2. And you just saw the rosters on the screen right there, but I'm actually really intrigued. Xiaogu, they're going for that SKT-style composition. I mean, SKT have won with it before. They've shown how incredibly strong it can be. And LGD, they've got a tricky fight to face.
Empower Lucian, but they have multiple damage threats should Lucian fall off. But Lulu, mid-bridge champion is what I'm going to call her. She does well in the lane phase, but then again, it's about giving TNT all of the tools to succeed.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if Xiaogu can maintain that 100% win rate as we load into the Rift right now. And we have loaded onto the Rift. It's Xiaogu versus LGD, game number 2 of this set. And once again, Xiaogu, 100% win rate on the blue side so far. LGD lost game number 1, but they're going hard on the comfort pick Lee Sin, and more importantly, the comfort pick Ahri. Can they put an end to Xiaogu's win rate?
Uphill battle, but they have, again, the proper tools. So we kind of covered what Xiaogu's composition is going to be. They have the 2 hardest resets in the game with the Cask as well as the Monsoon. It's about empowering TNT on his Lucian, and then you have V, who will probably build or itemize resistances and then into damage, so they do have a secondary carry threat come late game. On the other side, it is the murder train, press go. Anytime Sivir is in a composition, they want to run at you, and they want to run very quickly. But more importantly, they have great Dragon objective control, not just because of Rumble, but of course Lee Sin, his ability to steal away these objectives, and then Ahri setting up for picks. It all goes back to vision control for LGD, though. They need to make sure that they're on top of these objectives before the enemy team, that they're setting up proper vision so they can look for picks, and they're being very creative about how they approach these team fights.
That's something that we saw a bit of a lack of in game number 1. LGD had the poke-based composition, but they didn't always have the vision to back it up and would end up taking fights without having full knowledge of Xiaogu's position on the map, and that ended up biting them quite a bit. Godby now in the mid lane on that very safe Ahri, not even going to be taking a skin as he's feeling, you know what, I'm going to go back to the old school days and return to it. So we'll have to see if that is going to be a... if the vision weaknesses are going to be fixed by LGD, if they can solve that problem. And
the mind games right now. Doinby didn't want to tunnel himself into that small little hole in between the wall and his tower because it would give Godby a free empowered Q on the lifesteal, which is why he kept kiting upwards. He was waiting for Godby to throw the Q. And kind of speaking a little bit to the mechanics of the Lulu versus Ahri matchup, the trick is when you go to see someone auto attacks, which is why Godby is pushing him in, so that way there's more minions in front of Lulu that she has to focus on. You have to think of your auto attack almost as a mini CC, because you're in that position for the duration of the auto attack animation, and it's a very free Q from Ahri. And it's really important on Ahri that you hit the Q at maximum range, so you get that quick double tap, because obviously it'll do more damage as it comes back to her.
We'll have to see if Godby is going to be able to maintain that aggression onto Doinby, as it looks like there was a lane swap that occurred. V now teleporting down to the bottom after helping Swift clear a few camps, and Flame teleporting up to the top. So it looks like TNT and TCT, they did set up a freeze, but LGD just cracked that thing wide open.
See how they'll respond, especially because Swift is on that side of the jungle. So really prioritizing trying to put Flame down and him behind on his Rumble. And again, the fact that Flame is playing Rumble as opposed to Acorn, it kind of shows how LGD have been treating their 2 top laners.
Yeah, it definitely shows the aggressive style from Flame and the slightly more herbivorous style.
Just the Swippy swap.
Herbivorous Swift going to clear out the Scuttlecraft right now, but he's spotted out. TBQ finds Doinby. He lands right onto Doinby's face. Sonic Wave finds him, but he cannot chase in time as Doinby makes it back under his tier 1.
Yeah, Gavi was in no position to assist on that gank right there, even with the red buff. At best, he could have possibly looked for a flash charm, but there were so many creeps and he was so far down the lane that he wasn't able to chain CC.
It's one of the downsides of shoving your wave in super hard early on. Yeah, you can cause your opponent to miss a few minions, but when it bounces back, it ends up becoming really tricky to find that counter gank or turn around onto the aggressive laner.
I mean, more importantly, he's denied it and created a slight CS advantage for himself. We'll see if he's able to expand on that. Lulu is just... She's a lane bully. She's got so many tools. Ahri is always going to be a skill matchup no matter pretty much any matchup that he's in. But Lulu has so many tools. Shield, poke.
Finds Imp on the bottom side of the map. He's all on his lonesome down here. He's taking a long way around, dishing out auto attacks onto V, who's trying to heal it up as best he can. Here's TBQ, who rushes down with the Scuttle Crab. Is he going to find V? He lands the Sonic Wave. They're diving it now. Is it going to be first blood? It is, and he flashes to get out alive. TBQ styling with Imp, and Swift cannot save his fallen friend.
Beautiful juggling of Sivir's passive right there to make sure that he kept weaving the auto attack so he can continue to kite Hecarim around to create time and space for TBQ to get involved on the back half of that. And a beautiful Sonic Wave. TBQ, that's his signature champion, and he's showing why.
Yeah, he was holding on to that for quite a while now. You just saw some pings going down on the Dragon from LGD, but TBQ at such low health doesn't think he can contest it, while Flame continues to catch all this CS on the top side of the map. So things going pretty well for LGD. They've got pressure in the mid lane, they've got pressure in the bottom lane with that first kill on Imp, and even Flame is about 13 CS ahead of V. So LGD certainly seem to be on track to shore up some of those problems from game 1.
I feel like this is actually a mistake from Xiaogu. So with V dying, they had a window of opportunity where they could look to swap the lanes back, because obviously Hecarim will be in the base, and it timed really well with Lucian and Janna pushing back for their first initial back. But instead, they send TCT down to double support, or excuse me, roam with Swift, and TNT back up into the top lane. So Dragon control is still firmly in LGD's hands, and unfortunately they're not winning this lane swap. I mean, I guess Flame has a CS advantage, but I don't know. Kind of curious. They're really prioritizing putting Flame down when it's not really working for them.
Yeah, not so far, as he's got that 20 CS lead now, and it seems like V is actually forced to recall as he's being shoved away from all of this pressure from Imp. On first recall, it's a BF sword from that first blood and only a pickaxe for TNT on the other side. So the wave is going to hit the turret. Nobody's going to be here to catch it. V doesn't have teleport, and Xiaogu are going to miss a lot of this CS. What do they take to try to counteract this?
They can't do anything. They should have lane swapped. They sacrificed a lot of their pressure here, and again, it's not like their top laners ahead that they're sacrificing the lane swap and Dragon control to keep their top laner ahead. Their top laner is very firmly behind, 19 CS to 40. So LGD are winning this on all fronts, Dragon control as well as the top lane CS discrepancy.
Yeah, so now that's another wave going down, and Ping's going to hit the Dragon. Flame's in a tricky spot as 4 members are on the top side of the map. He's got to know something's tricky coming on. He's got the equalizer. Oh, he actually drops himself into the silence.
It's going to be curious how he uses it, or if he's just going to give and sacrifice the tower for the Dragon trade, because he can use the equalizer to clear the creep wave to buy time. He can use it when they attempt to dive him to try to trade 1-for-1. But I think, yeah, they're just going to trade the tower away for the Dragon.
Yeah, so Dragon number 1 secured by LGD. Xiaogu answer by trying to take that top tier 1, sending all 4 members onto that side of the map. Even Doinby going up there as he dodges one of those orbs of deception from Godv, and the culling even being used to try clearing that minion wave as quickly as possible. Imp, however, is going to answer by taking that bottom tier 1. Teleport finally back up for V. He doesn't have level 6 just yet. So all in all, LGD feeling very confident with this, even stealing away the jungle.
They didn't even take the tower. It's very low. They're trying to deny as much CS and experience, but LGD still firmly in control as they get the Dragon and the tower advantage over Xiaogu.
Yeah, it's Imp who's going to be the first one taking the turret. It's going to be answered very soon on that top side of the map by TNT as he shoves it out. Oh, V gets caught way out of position. Doinby manages to save him, but he's almost certainly going to go down here. The charm misses. He goes so low. TBQ kicks him down. It's Imp who gets the kill. Teleport is going to succeed for Flame. They now dive onto Doinby. Knockup finds Swift. POL's taking it. They're 2 turrets deep. LGD pick up 3 kills now. 2 kills off of this, and they're going to get out.
Flame using his shield. Everyone goes really low as they walk through the tower. V, what are you doing, buddy? You can't invade on that side of the map. LGD have the numbers advantage. Walking in there is a death trap, as you just saw.
Yeah, finally that top tier 1 is going to go down for Xiaogu, but they just gave up another 2 kills. But one of them on Imp, and he got the assist. So Imp is sitting on a mountain of gold. He picks up a pickaxe and now that Avarice Blade. And Flame, interestingly enough, decides to go for his Seekers with that kill of his own. But all in all, LGD are snowballing this advantage pretty effectively.
This is something that Flame does. Rushes his Hourglass or has it very early rotation in his Rumble build, which, unsurprising, he's so far ahead of V right now.
Yeah.
Not just in the CS, but more importantly in the experience. And that's super important when, again, LGD, they've already completely reversed their trend of last game, and they've taken full control over the Dragon. And they have a Dragon fighting composition with this Rumble. Obviously, his level 2 ultimates and level 3 ultimates will time very nicely with that timer. So watch for how Flame really takes control of this game on the Rumble pick.
As you can see on the gold right now, it's about 800 gold ahead for Flame and another 800 for Imp, whereas Godvi is only about 200 ahead in his lane. And with that swing, they're going to send Godvi down to the bottom lane. Imp and PYL feeling awful comfortable in the mid. Oh, Imp might be caught out here. Heal gets burned. They could try to turn it around. The boomerang does
nice.
so much damage, and Doinby barely stays alive. There's the flash cast. TBQ gets knocked into the culling. They get revenge for their fallen comrade. PYL, despite being a muffin, is so tanky. He's trying to run under the turret, but he's not going to make it. He knocks Swift in. He's doing so much damage. Swift goes down. Imp is so strong. There's the equalizer. They turn it onto Doinby. This has turned into a full fight. Godby's even joined the fight now. V comes in. The Onslaught of Shadows keeps TNT alive. Flash gets it out. It's Flame who gets the kill. V's going low right now. The overheat cannot quite find it. Is he going to
the
land?
creep wave!
Oh, the creep wave makes it exactly. And V barely gets out alive.
What a nice teleport from Flame to turn that fight and make sure that LGD at least trade even for that. They will get a lot of damage onto this tower. We'll see if they can actually take it because the side's up. Nope, TCT to the rescue.
Yeah, he's keeping it up as best he can. The charm comes out for Godby as he's got blue buff. He can toss out those orbs and charms left and right.
That was a really great adaptation from Xiaogu. So this is something that's become very standard in the LPL. As soon as the AD carries are finished kind of taking these side lanes, they immediately rotate them into the mid lane because obviously the mid tower is the last standing outer tower other than that top tier tower for them. And then they rotate the mid laner into the bottom side because again, you don't want your mid laner and your AD carry to share the same income of gold, which again, we see Imp immediately farming it up in that mid lane. Xiaogu, I mean, this is so obvious. This is standard. They know that this is going to happen. What do? They set up and they send all of their resources to the mid lane to try to make some quick picks. But a beautiful teleport and gorgeous damage from Flame pretty much destroyed that fight. Look at how fed this Rumble is.
2-0-1 right now, going for the Sork Pen boots second for some immediate damage should any more fights break out. And whoa, on the hunt actually used by Imp right here as he scares away TNT and TCT. And they continue shoving it down as it's about a 15 CS lead in favor of Imp, and in the mid lane, Godby, well I guess now in the bottom lane, Godby's got about a 30 CS lead on his own and another 30 CS lead for Flame. So all in all, this laning phase going huge for LGD.
Yeah, Xiaogu really misplayed the initial early game, which gave LGD the lead, which allowed them to really come back and win that fight. That said, it was a beautiful adaptation, and the bright light here for Xiaogu is that TNT, who their composition is effectively built around, is still doing okay. 3-1-0. I mean, he's down in CS, but it's not massive compared to kind of his side lane or his solo laners.
Yeah, and take a look at what he's building. Instead of going for an Avarice Blade, he actually picked up the Crit Cloak, so he could be going for that Infinity Edge as quickly as possible to try to increase his effectiveness. Now, Flame...
He's going to go Eye-Edge into Static Shiv, especially with the Lulu there on his team, because again, he needs to be that late-game Lucian damage threat, and by having the Whimsy and just kind of the speed augment that Lulu is going to supply to him, he's going to get more Static Shiv procs.
Dragon's now up in 40 seconds, and one of the problems that we talked about for LGD in their previous game was their trouble with vision control. Take a look at the map right now. They have got wards all over the place. Xiaogu, however, are answering it. PYL looking for some harassment on the Swift, doesn't find it. If LGD can continue keeping vision like this, I think they might be able to be comfortable.
What's really interesting about LGD historically with their vision control is that, hold on, V and TBQ, he's got it. He's good, we're good. Is that Godby was actually really important to the vision control.
Whoa, V actually had to use his Onslaught to get over the wall, and Dragon's up in 4 seconds.
He was stuck between a rock and a hard place known as PYL, Flame, and TBQ.
Yeah.
Godby was actually really responsible for a lot of LGD's vision control just because TBQ is never really a vision-oriented style of jungler. That said, with his recent pickup of Varus, it's very dangerous for Varus to kind of walk into a dark river and place down wards, whereas Ahri, Orianna are more of his comfort picks, and it's so easy for Ahri to set up for pink wards and vision denial because obviously she has her ultimate available. So immediately we see kind of the shift in the trend in mid lane, and suddenly LGD look far more confident with their vision control, even picking up that second dragon. Yeah,
with that second dragon, LGD are looking very strong to continue snowballing their advantage. 3,500 gold ahead of Xiaogu, and ooh, Swift actually does manage to get the Krug right there despite Godby attempting to contest it while he continues putting pressure on the bottom side of the map, and Imp, just being a bully in that mid lane, tries to continue shutting TNT down. They haven't been too effective so far as he's now picked up an Avarice Blade of his own instead of finishing off the Infinity Edge, but Imp going for the standard LPL style build, raw damage, and before getting crit, going for more attack speed.
Yeah, it's about being as cost efficient as possible to push down towers as quickly as possible. So obviously the upgraded boots are going to give you a much more bang for your buck in pushing down those towers with the attack speed versus having the Infinity Edge complete. Especially because Dragon's down, there's no big 5v5 arena that Imp really needs to itemize that crit chance for.
So with that Dragon down, we've got about a 5-minute window now. There's really not that much that LGD can contest that as I say that they fight over this blue buff right now. Oh, man.
No, but you're absolutely right. There's no big objective for them to contest, which is why they're invading and looking for kind of these smaller paper cut choke points. Bleed them dry. Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we get those 1,000 paper cuts.
There we go. There's another one.
Yeah, as that mid tier 1 turret finally goes down, Imp is successful in breaking it. Now the last one remaining is on the top side of the map, and Flame, he's all on top of that thing. A full 40 CS ahead.
Classic Flame.
And he's shoving that thing under the turret as quickly as possible. We'll see if Imp actually decides to stay in the mid lane or decides to swing up to try taking down that turret.
He's got his double penetration available to him now. The Haunting Guys as well as the Sork Boots. Still has the Seeker's Arm Guard, so he had initial resistances available to him for when he teleported into that big team fight, picked up his double kill. See where he's going to go from here. I would assume that he's going to complete his Hourglass, but...
Yeah, we'll definitely have to find out as Godby picks up for himself an Etherwisp on top of that Athene, so he should be looking for the...
Luden's Echo.
Luden's next. And interestingly enough, Imp is going to be able to finish off his Infinity Edge before TNT with that increased global gold, 3,300 now. And Xiaogu are still hot on their heels. It's only about a 300 gold difference between those 80 carries.
We're starting to come to the point in the game, though, where Lulu's really lost her effectiveness in a 1v1. We'll see how Doinby decides to itemize, if he's going to go for more flat AP to empower his wild growth, or if he's going to look towards penetration to try to be... I call it the difference between the Faker Lulu and kind of the other standard Lulus, is Faker likes Lichbane, but hold on.
Yeah, PYL shows himself onto the top side of the map. He immediately knocks up V. There goes the Equalizer, and V is forced to jump out of it. Junk down to half health. TCT's on this side of the map, but so are 4 other members of LGD. They might find Swift right here. They do indeed. Lots of damage coming across. Boomerang goes wide for Imp, but he's just going to clear out this ward, and this tier 1 goes down.
Pretty easy secure right there. Great class from LGD. Again, their vision is just a 180 from last game. And is he going to go on that? Don't do it.
Yeah. TCT is thinking about it. He's like, there's a pink ward, man. That's 30 gold. 30 whole gold. That's like 2 minions. Do you know how much that's worth to a support?
He's a jungler. Hold on, Swift.
Oh, not TBQ, TNT.
Oh, I was looking at TBQ on the Sonic Wave. That said, LGD have created not a sizable wave, but a bit of a pressure point for mid lane. They shouldn't be able to translate this into a tower, but possibly get some damage.
Yeah, they're clearing that right on out.
Nothing.
Imp gets a good crit, clears it away, and so far it seems like LGD are on track to continue putting pressure onto Xiaogu as they've now increased to a 5,000 gold lead over LGD. Godby is going to send himself up to the top side.
Okay, so Dragon now just procced for the 2-minute timer. So what Godby's doing is he's walking up to the top side to get rid of that building wave on top. Should probably set himself up for a slow push. See if he catches the cannon. Yeah, okay, so he's just going to reset that wave entirely. Likewise, Imp was pinged for the red buff. He should walk over and take that away from TBQ, but it's about setting themselves up for this dragon that will be spawning in 1 minute 30, taking control of their side waves. You see Flame in the bottom side, Godby was just up in the top side, resetting the map.
Flame's got to be careful here. Dodges the explosive cast, reads Swift like a book, and gets out of there alive. Drops the trinket, sees two members, instantly back flashes away to get out with his life. And Flame still doing good, but Swift, that's a big cooldown.
Think of how many times they've ganked Flame and how unsuccessful it's been.
Yeah, Flame is in a really good spot right now. Doesn't actually have an opportunity to recall just yet as he follows PYL on the invade, as they look to set up some awful deep boards. And right now, TBQ are scaring Xiaogu back, and they look to be on track to shut down the 100% win rate that Xiaogu have maintained on the blue side of the map. Luden's Echo completed for GodV means he'll be able to get so much bonus damage off in fights. Red buff even stolen away. V's on the top side of the map, and while they do have vision of what LGD are doing, they just can't contest it.
Yeah, LGD, great job moving into the dragon side of the map, setting down that deep vision so they can secure this objective. And this is what we're typically used to seeing from LGD, very macro-oriented, very methodical, and a lot of pre-planning and proactive play from them when they set up for these objectives. So we see their back timers. They timed around the 30-minute, or the 30-second point, excuse me, for that dragon, because again, it takes about 30 seconds to walk from base to that dragon pit. But this should be another free, easy pickup for LGD, especially because Xiaogu, they're just not really in position for this.
Yeah, they are not ready at all. V's on the top side of the map dealing with the shove that was set up by GodV a few minutes ago. And now the dragon spawns. Xiaogu are nowhere even close to that. LGD secure for themselves the third dragon.
They're really out of position because a massive wave, again, LGD and their forethought and planning, when they set up for dragons, they create these big, massive slow pushes in their side wave. So if a fight happens at dragon, they can then quickly rotate it into another objective like this bottom tier tower.
Yeah, they're on the tier 2 right now. Doinby gets some great wave clear, clears that thing right on out. Then they swing up towards the mid lane again, utilizing all of those wards that they set up in the jungle as GodV shoves it forward. He's only got 4 minions with another wave coming shortly behind it, but they can just slowly chip away at the turret. They'll be able to make it effective.
They're just looking for a pick right now. They're going to keep rotating in between all of these towers, setting up their vision around Baron, and it's about their non-committal CC. A charm lands on the right target. This game will immediately explode for LGD.
Yeah, Imp is going to secure that blue buff. GodV got his own. All in all, that's the 4 buffs going over to LGD. They took all 4 off of the swing with some perfectly timed rotations. Imp going to secure the scuttle here. And Ping's now going down onto the mid lane to try catching LGD out of position and steal away that tier 1 before they can respond, but Imp's still there.
LG, they did a fantastic job resetting their map, securing all of the buffs.
Oh, looks like they might catch Doinby here. Sonic Wave lands. Is he going to be knocked up? Immediately is. Doinby's very close here. They're going to dive, and they actually force the flash out of Doinby.
Oh, hold on, here comes a flank.
He lands the Sonic Wave. Oh, isn't able to follow it up, though. Yeah.
Just crit on a Shiv proc and half-healthed TCT in 1 auto.
Yeah, pretty awesome. They're even going to look to steal away the Raptor camp right now as it gets pulled off of the cask that Swift tossed down. Even dropping a pink, POL is just going to bully it away.
It's actually really important to deny the Raptor camp, especially because they have so much vision control on that side, because obviously that'll deny the Raptor buff of the popping for ward locations.
Razor sharp.
Is that what it's called?
It is. Because you're sharp enough to see the wards that spot you.
A really fun location to ward is right underneath the red buff, so opposite of where TBQ is standing in the opening, because it'll immediately proc the Raptor camp as soon as they clear it, but it's such a weird place to ward that often they won't find it. And it's still a relatively high traffic area for the enemy team to move through there, so fun tip for solo queue. If you want to mess with the enemy jungler, ward right underneath the red camp.
Oh, Imp trying to get some harass down on the bottom side of the map. TCT is caught out in his own jungle. PYL tries to turn it, but just going to end up zoning them away as the Monsoon was used defensively, and immediately LGD swing down to the bottom. V's down there, but he's just not going to be able to defend this. As the turret gets shredded, the tier 2 goes down as LGD flexing their superior muscle.
And this is what LGD have always been known for, not just with the addition of Flame and Imp, but even if you go back to Rina and Star as their top and mid laner, even before GodV at that point, they were a macro-oriented team. And of course, the one consistency between all of those rosters is PYL and his macro shot calling. It's always been this very textbook, methodical, I like to call it proactive. They're one of the most proactive teams in the LPL when they're on point.
Very interesting to see how that's working out. Now, Xiaogu, they're not out of this just yet. They're down 3 dragons, they're down 3 turrets, they're down 3 kills. Heck, they would almost be down 3,000 gold if it weren't for the extra 2,000 that LGD are ahead. what do they do to get themselves back into this? They're trying to wait it out, but do they have the time?
It's really important to understand that Xiaogu understand that they are behind. They know that they have to take the right fight, that they just can't run to everything, which is why they've really kind of been sacrificing a lot of their objectives as opposed to really trying to commit and fight for them. Because they don't want a snowball lead for LGD. They're being very patient, trying to keep their defensive vision up and take small skirmishes and figure out where LGD's weak points are. So Xiaogu are still playing this incredibly smart. They understand that they're behind, and it's about figuring out when they can go for it, typically with a numbers advantage or a pick.
Well, they're continuing to look for it right now as they run back and forth through the jungle. TBQ looks to steal the red buff away once again, but he's spotted out by Swift. Both of the junglers, no, actually, TBQ has Smite. Swift does not, as Flame continues to peel it away. Culling goes out, and
But again,
yeah, they pick it up.
They know exactly, we can't fight this. The best that we can look for, the best play in this scenario is to just try to steal it away with a culling. So it would be inaccurate to say that Xiaogu are just giving LGD the game. They're being very smart about how they take their engagements.
Yeah, Godby might catch TCT here. Tornado gets charged up. The Flash Charm lands. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. The Exhaust even gets burned, and Godby using the Flash aggressively. TCT trades it for the Exhaust.
Big cooldown trade right there. That said, Ari's not going to be in too much trouble, especially because she still has her ultimate available. The dragon will be spawning in 1 minute. Now, Xiaogu, again, they're still not really in position to fight for this dragon, but Godby being really aggressive. If they get a pick on him, that would immediately turn advantage for Xiaogu to, okay, this is our window of opportunity. This is when we can start to look towards fighting LGD.
Some of the wards now being cleared out for LGD as Xiaogu start to sweep through their own jungle. Godby continuing to be as much of a nuisance as possible. Now he's stealing away the Krugs from Xiaogu, using that very strong Bluden's Echo to proc it. Now, timely recall happens from LGD as they build up some important items.
Look.
And start heading over towards that dragon.
Flame pushing the top side to create a pressure point so he can then walk to the dragon, and it'll force V to respond, hopefully. And then they'll have a numbers advantage on the dragon pit. This is textbook LGD. This is them. This is what they were famous for.
I think the exciting thing, though, is that they're doing it to Xiaogu, a team who have not lost on the blue side, despite having priority pick. Whoa, TNT actually gets the blue right there.
Xiaogu are really good at 5v5ing, and that's kind of the beauty. Yeah, LG have a strong 5v5 composition, but more importantly, they have a very strong objective control composition, as well as not just in monster objectives, but in structural objectives. So if it comes to a 5v5, yeah, they have all the tools that they can look for that, and they can engage Xiaogu head on, but more importantly, they're just running them around and denying them their strength.
Dragon has been engaged. They're trying to shred through its health as quick as they can. They do succeed. That's Dragon 4. PYL might be caught here as Xiaogu are grouped up. The flash stun finds Godby. He doesn't have his own flash. He goes low. He's still alive on the backside of the fight. Imp being chased out by V as he's continuing kited over the wall. V doesn't manage to get the kill as he's chaos in the front lines. It's a double kill now for Imp. PYL's trying to keep Imp alive. The huge monsoon knocks him in. TNT's cleaning it up though. Godby's still alive on the back with Flame, and it's all in all a 1 for 3 in favor of LGD. They still have a lot of pick. PYL lands the knockup onto TNT. Are they going to follow it up with the charm? He goes low. Oh! The crit shreds through his health, and Godby with the fadeaway trades it right back over.
Oh my god, hold on, here comes the teleport. Okay, no, he could just cancel it and push the wave. Okay, it was Flame's teleport. Oh my god, that was fantastic. So we talked about, Xiaogu, they're not just letting LGD have the game. They understand that they're behind. They just have to look for the perfect engagement. And the perfect engagement was on catching Godby out of position with the quick CC into the cask. It forced Godby to use his ultimate defensively to reposition himself as opposed to offensively and look for a pick. That was best case scenario for Xiaogu, and from fancy footwork and outplay potential on TNT, they almost get away with it. But a great turnaround from LGD. So here we go. This is the play that I'm talking about. Knock Godby immediately into the enemy team, and he's forced to burn all 3 procs of the Ariel just to get himself back into perfect position. From here, it's really just TNT. Again, he's got so many tools on this Lucian. This is what the comps build for. So many shields and speed up. PYL, bit of a misplay right there. He actually pops Lucian directly into Imp, and then he just explodes him with an immediate static shiv proc.
Yeah, great play right here. Here comes Godby's awesome fadeaway. Look at the crit on PYL. Boom! Shred through his health. The charm lands. Oh man, Godvi. Huge play.
It just tapped his childbearing hips too.
Oop, there
just
goes
slightly
the,
too big.
Flash over the wall as PYL finds Swift right here. CC lock comes out, but V's able to disengage it like billiard balls. LGD scatter, but they're continuing to chase as they collect themselves together. 2 kills as they kill TNT. Doinby goes low. 3 kills now, and it's turning into 4 kills as LGD are going to look for an ace right here. V's the sole survivor. They're going to try diving. No, they back away at the last second. That was actually a fight on 2 fronts.
And this will be the free Baron. And again, LGD, they're very much ahead. Xiaogu can only fight when they have the perfect circumstance. In the last fight, it was, finding that excellent opening on Godby. So it's really unfortunate because Xiaogu are playing really well, but LGD, this is the team that we're talking about. This is why we still consider them elite.
Yeah, the Baron is secured by LGD, and with that, they now open up to a nearly 10,000 gold advantage. They've got 4 dragons, they've got Barons, they're 9 kills ahead. Here's the fight on the other side. TNT finds Flame, but can't make anything happen.
Oh, beautiful Hourglass to allow Godby to close the gap distance there.
Oh,
Flame
man.
showing him the leg.
Godby, so strong right now, just does so much damage, getting a Rabadon's and then a Haunting Guise for more penetration. He's playing so excellently this game, 4-0-5, and I mean, all of LGD are just playing so together and as a team. Oh, knockup doesn't find TNT.
Godby is really creative about how he approaches team fights and how he moves about the map and just the vision and the wave control that he supplies LGD when he's on high mobility champions, his LeBlanc, his Ahri, things like that. Him on the Varus, it looks super impressive because he's able to hit those incredible skill shots, but it's really impacting LGD's vision control and how they do approach these 5v5s. You see an immediate upgrade, especially against a team like Xiaogu, who are so good in a 5v5, just kind of the difference of the potential of the team. This is what we're talking about. Again, I'm going to hit it all day long. LGD, they may be in, what, 8th, 10th?
Yeah, 8th.
They are still one of the best teams in the LPL.
They certainly are. With that Baron buff, they dash forward. The cask is huge. TPQ is forced to jump over the wall, but PYL forces the disengage with a huge knockup. And despite that excellent cask, the only thing they managed to do is clear the wave.
Just gotta survive, gotta hold out against the Baron. LGD, one thing they didn't do is they didn't prep their waves. They do have a big wave forming in the top side, but bot side's not looking too good for them. So they don't have many pressure points to play with here, and this is going to be a slow and methodical siege. Look for non-committal CC. If a charm hits on a target they like, immediately Flame and PYL will jump.
See if that's the case, and as they continue choking down that turret just inch by inch, finally they decide to back away and start dealing with some of those split waves.
Yeah, but because they didn't prep ahead of time, they lose a ton of their momentum and pressure on this Baron.
Ooh, might find a pick onto Swift right here. Godby misses the charm just barely. Well, actually, that was more like a lot. Swift dashes in. Remember, he has no cask, and Godby's actually forced to Spirit Rush in order to make it out.
I think he was actually looking for a counter charm right there, but a little bit of indecisive and miscommunication on timing windows there.
Yeah, so Dragon's up in a minute. This is Dragon 5. LGD did take the Baron buff. They were able to take down that mid-tier 2 turret, but not able to take any inhibitors just yet. If they take Dragon 5, the next team fight will go in their favor, as they've already shown they've got some pretty scary breakpoints that they're hitting.
And this big kind of swell of momentum and just full control that LGD have demonstrated really started in the early game. And I hate to go back and hammer onto that lane swap, but I feel like that's where Xiaogu really dropped the ball. They just fumbled their early game initial lane swap against Flame, allowed him to get ahead. There was that fantastic teleport in the mid lane that then snowballed Flame into a double kill. And from there, they've used the power of Flame, the power of Godby, to siege and control pretty much every single objective on the map, be it the Dragon, the Baron, and more importantly, these red and blue buffs.
Yeah, the buffs have not been easy for Xiaogu to pick up. Every single one seems to be stolen, or if not contested at the very least. Dragon has spawned, and LGD are going to try shredding through it. Swift waiting over the wall. He's got the cask. Is he going to go for the steal right now? He makes it over in.
Oh!
He gets the steal with the culling. Xiaogu denied Dragon number 5, but LGD might just try to make the best of this situation. Swift takes a charm, and then he goes down to Imp.
And that was the best possible play Xiaogu had available to them. They know that they can't fight the 5v5. What do we need? We just need the steal. They immediately cut their losses as soon as Swift is caught. Fantastic smite and culling. Great communication between TNT and Swift.
Yeah, we're now 33 minutes into the game, and LGD have got an enormous momentum advantage right now as they continue trying to put pressure onto Xiaogu. This time without the Baron, they get more damage onto the inhibitor turret. They know without the disengage from the cask, it's not enough. They dive forward looking for Doinby, who's low on mana, but V's able to dissuade them. The pick is going to find TCT. They take down the turret and then clear the inhibitor.
They use the equalizer as a zoning tool to pick up what they came here for. So question is, now will they strike next on the map? Ping does go towards the bottom inhib.
That looks like it's what it's going to be. V clearing out that wave in the middle before the super minions get there, trying to stop them and buy himself as much time as he possibly can while LGD look to shove on the bottom side. Imp so very scary. Charm finds Swift, but he's going to be able to walk away. For now, what is Doinby doing? He's super dead. Explosive cast comes across. There's V diving into the back line. He's not able to find it as LGD are continuing to chase forward. Ignite goes down. It's a double kill for Imp and a double kill for Godby as well. TBQ's so low. V wants it. Is he going to be able to get it? There goes the Sonic Wave. Oh my gosh, they can't even get these Requiem sort of kills after the fact. It's an ace for LGD. Could this be the end of the 100% win rate from Xiaogu on blue side?
I would say yes. Very convincingly. Doinby caught out of position right there. And again, that was the pick that caused LGD to explode, as they are now using the teleport to make sure that that minion can survive longer to push down these two Nexus towers. And this is Xiaogu crumbling.
Yeah, they're trying right now. The two Nexus turrets goes down. Swift and Doinby have just spawned. So too has TNT. The Charm stalls it out. Are they going to be able to protect the Nexus? LGD burning through its health. They will not. LGD end Xiaogu's winning streak on blue side.
Fantastic play from LGD, and again, I have to go back to early game. LGD played that lane swap so much better. It propelled them into the mid game. From there, they just choked out objective control. And Xiaogu, they understood they were behind. They still played a fantastic game, but LGD showing this is their playoff performance. This is the team that took EDG to 5 games.
And that is some exceptional play from LGD. I mean, all the entire game, it looked like they knew what they were doing at every step. Steal the red, steal the blue, take dragon, steal the red, steal the blue, take a turret. Just keep on pressing objective after objective, and like that, it seemed like it was almost easy for them.
A big change in difference between their vision control. And again, I have to go back to Godby. Just the difference that he offers that team, not just in his kill pressure and their play style, but just their vision control. He is such a huge part of that, placing those deep wards, setting up for dragons and picks and things like that. So
yeah, you just saw LGD on your screen bowing and smiling, and I would be smiling too after ending that Xiaogu 100% win rate. They will always have that small black spot on their record now against LGD. Man, amazing play from LGD with that. Yeah,
just across the board too. Flame, that's who I'll... Okay, let's think about it this way.
Yeah.
Acorn has long been considered the... I'm going to say they have more synergy with Acorn than they do with Flame. That's what the team has said themselves. And he used to have a pretty sizable, or he played more games than Flame. I actually think Flame had a higher win rate, but it's kind of a hard sample pool just because Acorn was playing so much more than Flame. Yeah. But Flame has really stepped up. He's almost become like the true tank player. The fact that it's Flame playing Acorn, Flame playing Rumble, because that's, I mean, the fact that I just made that mistake, Acorn, Rumble is his #1 champion.
Yeah.
But Flame is taking every single time, and he's dominating on it.
He's looking so strong with that. I mean, LGD taking the 1-1 split with Xiaogu off of some of that exceptional play. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break.